Back when I was around 5 or 6 years old, when I first moved away from Taiwan, when I immigrated, and I found out what Neapolitan ice cream was, I truly thought it was like the most genius, most clever, the coolest thing that's ever invented. 3 flavors of ice cream in one. Such a cool concept. Why don't they do that for like everything? 3 flavors on a single pizza, 3 flavors on a single donut. Then I grew up and I realized there was a lot of other cooler things than that. But regardless, Jordan Brand's taken the Neapolitan ice cream concept and put it on a Jordan 11 shoe. Air Jordan 11 Neapolitan. So right off the bat, of course, the Neapolitan ice cream, it consists of chocolate, vanilla, as well as strawberry. So you see the colors of the shoe inspired by those 3 flavors. Now I will say, if Jordan Brand didn't even call this like the Neapolitan Jordan 11, it's kind of hard to tell that this shoe was inspired by Neapolitan. It just really isn't immediately obvious. Now the shoe is dropping on November 11th for a whopping price of $225. It is a woman's exclusive, and this colorway is dropping very closely to another Jordan 11, the Jordan 11 Gratitude. So it's kind of like the sister of that shoe, very close in terms of the colorway, in terms of the construction, swapping out materials that you're probably more familiar with on the Jordan 11. Now the Jordan 11 was originally designed by Tinker Hatfield, legendary designer, and his inspiration was formal wear, like a tuxedo inspired aesthetic. And I believe, if I remember correctly, it was Michael Jordan that suggested using patent leather to give the shoe more of an elegant look. And that's definitely become one of the more defining features of the Jordan 11. And the Jordan 11, Michael Jordan wore after he came back from his first retirement. So he came back like last quarter of the 95-96 season. They were defeated by the Orlando Magic by a young Shaq and Penny Hardaway. But he came back to the Jordan 11s. He wore the Concord. That didn't actually release till later that year. But the Jordan 11 since then has been one of the best Jordan silhouettes, one of the most popular Jordan silhouettes. And there's just been a ton of legendary colorways. And originally when the Jordan 11 released in 1995, it came out for a price of $125. That is around $250 in 2023 terms. So $225 is very expensive. But in terms of like purchasing power, in terms of the percentage of your disposable income that you're spending, probably not as much proportion-wise to what you're spending in 1995. And the upper sole of this shoe, some people might be torn on the materials that's used, because it does swap out the traditional Jordan 11 ballistic nylon mesh. It swaps it out for leather, so this entire upper sole, apart from these braces or straps, those are still the same materials, but everything else, including the tongue, leather. Now personally, I don't really mind that change. I didn't mind it when they changed the leather out for suede and nubuck on the Jordan 1 Royal Reimagined. As long as the shoe looks good, even though it's slightly different than what people might expect, I don't mind it. I am someone that just prefers leather over any other materials, so maybe I'm a little biased. I think leather is king, but I think the leather on this shoe, it looks nice. It doesn't seem like out of place. Now if they went with like a craft construction, like a lot of those craft shoes where they mix like nubuck, suede, leather on the same shoe and canvas sometimes, maybe I wouldn't like that, but this construction, I don't mind it. And the mudguard, they didn't change this up. It's just too distinct for a Jordan 11. It's just really part of the Jordan 11 DNA. It comes with patent glossy leather, and the mudguard on images, it might just seem like black, but actually up close in person, it is a very, very, very dark brown, officially velvet brown. And that stays true to the Jordan 11. In a vacuum, I don't really love patent leather, but it's such a distinct feature of the Jordan 11, you definitely expect it, so I definitely don't mind it on this shoe. The heel, you see the Jordan 11 Jumpman that's stitched. Sometimes Jordan 11 will come with like a plastic or metal Jumpman on the heel. This one, it is stitched. And on the booty of the shoe, you see Michael Jordan's number 23. And the heel tab, that is actually part of the ankle collar, so not leather. And on the tongue, instead of having a tag on the top of the tongue like a lot of other Jordan shoes, this one has it in the middle of the tongue, and it might seem like jumbled letters when you look at it this way. However, you turn the shoe to the side, and it actually says Jumpman, with the Jumpman logo after that, Jordan. And inside the tongue, just like the booty of the Jordan 12s, has a tag that says the words, quality basketball products inspired by the greatest player ever. And, in my opinion, he is still the greatest player ever. No debates for me. One thing I do have to point out, the ventilation on this shoe, non-existent. So if you have sweaty feet, if you are one of those people where your feet start to drown, keep that in mind. And the Jordan 11 does come with a Phylon midsole with a full-length Nike Air unit. And this is actually the last Jordan brand shoe to use the traditional Nike Air unit. After that, they went with Zoom Air. And Phylon, just in case you didn't know, that's essentially Jordan Brand's type of EVA foam. It's made to be more lightweight, and it also provides more responsiveness. Now, one thing I would want to point out, the midsole as well as the upper sole of the shoe, it is supposed to be sail, but it seems more like a creamy off-white than sail. So compare it to a white shoe, then compare it to like a sail on another shoe, and it just doesn't really seem like sail that you see Jordan Brand shove on a lot of other shoes nowadays. So here's a white shoe, here's Jordan 11. Hopefully you can see the difference in color there. So it's not exactly white. And here's the Jordan 3 Reimagined, where the sail is on the heel tab as well as the midsole. And I feel like the best position to make a comparison here, probably on the booty. So it's weird. I don't feel like it's as deep of a sail as sail on other Jordan Brand shoes. But this shoe is probably the one they should have just gone full sail for. On a lot of the Jordan Brand shoes, I complain a lot. They stick sail on the midsole for absolutely no reason. They should have just gone with white in those cases. But this shoe, if it's going after that Neapolitan flavor, they definitely should have used sail. That's closer to the vanilla that you see on the Neapolitan ice cream. No logic. Maybe if there was parts of the shoe that was completely white, you'd be able to tell the sail more, but just looking at it, I would call it more of an off-white or like a cream color. And the outsole of the shoe, another very distinct part of the Jordan 11, the translucent outsole, this time in that atmosphere pink color with a carbon fiber shank plate, and the rest of the outsole, rubber herringbone traction. Now I do have to point out, if you're still playing in Jordan 11s, a lot of times clear, translucent rubber outsoles, it might not perform as well in like dusty gyms. The herringbone definitely helps, but there's a lot of that clear, transparent rubber outsole on this shoe. So just keep that in mind. But if you're playing in a clean, well-maintained gym, it definitely shouldn't be a problem. This shoe doesn't come with any extra laces. I think this off-white creamy kind of laces look pretty well with the shoe. Can't think of another color really that I would go for. Maybe a bit more sail laces, like more sail than this sail. Maybe that'll give the shoe a different kind of dimension, but yeah, overall, I'm pretty happy with the default laces. But for $225, I would have preferred if they gave us a few more options. Box of the shoe, pretty standard Jordan box. This kind of reflective golden Jumpman in the middle. Just paper inside with gold 23 all over. Now moving on to size and comfort, I'm a size 9.5 true to size. I do have wide feet. Now this is a woman's exclusive, so I went with a woman's size 11, which is equivalent to going true to size for me. If there was one thing I had to nitpick, it might be the toe box area, where it's a tiny bit tight when it's out of the box, but that'll definitely break in. And the rest of the shoe, it just feels very snug, very comfortable around my feet. So whether or not you have wide feet, I do recommend just sticking true to size. It's well cushioned, it's well padded inside, the Phylon midsole as well as the carbon fiber shank plate. Both weight savings. This being a basketball shoe and performance shoe to the core, it still is kind of flat to the ground compared to very soft shoes nowadays, but that's kind of what I prefer. Definitely not as flat and close to the ground and kind of cardboard-like the Jordan 1s, Nike Dunks, or the Air Force 1s. Definitely a huge upgrade since then. So overall, I think the Jordan 11s, very comfortable. And that brings the total sole score of the Jordan 11 Neapolitan to 32 out of 40. A pretty good score compared to other general releases. Now, one thing I do have to mention, I recently changed the sole score to be on a scale from 1 to 10 instead of 1 to 5. I was finding that a lot of shoes, there was a slight difference in how I would rank them in terms of the metrics, but the scale was too short for me to really separate them, like it was either a 4 or a 5. What about a 4.5? I thought about including 0.5s into that system, but I thought why not just blow it up, make the scale a bit wider, 1 to 10. So really, really, really nice shoes in terms of a colorway. I could give it a 10. A very, very nice shoe in terms of colorway, but not as nice, could be like an 8 or 9. So I just feel like that's a more sustainable system in the long run. So I did go through every single shoe that I've reviewed. I've updated the sole score on my website. If you're interested, go there, take a look. But my sentiment for each metric towards the shoes that I have reviewed, they remain the same. The score's just been slightly updated to adjust to the new scale. Now in terms of colorway, I think this is a very nice colorway. An off-white sail upper sole with a almost black looking mudguard, but it is dark brown and hints of a translucent pink outsole. I think that makes for a really good combination. I think this is a clean colorway, not elite, but very, very nice indeed. In terms of materials, I don't love patent leather overall. A lot of people are aware and do point out that patent leather, when it creases, it looks very ugly to the eye, but it's just such a core part of the DNA of the Jordan 11. It's hard to buy a Jordan 11 and then complain about the patent leather. I think the upper sole, as someone that does love leather, that thinks leather is king, I do like the change in the upper sole, so I don't mind that. The tech specs like the Phylon midsole as well as the carbon fiber shank plate all really appeal to me. In terms of comfort, the Jordan 11s are one of the more comfortable Jordans in my opinion, at least from 1 to 14. It's a light shoe despite it being a shoe from all the way back in the day in 95, but overall, the comfort still holds up. In terms of versatility, the Jordan 11s, even though it does look like a basketball shoe, it's reached that stratosphere where it's crossed over into casual mainstream, definitely. He did wear the Jordan 11s in the movie Space Jam, so even non-basketball audiences may be pretty familiar with this silhouette, and it's one of those later Jordans from the Jordan 1 to 14 that really works well casually, and it works with a lot of different outfits. And the colors on the shoe, super simple, majority off-white. I know it's velvet brown, but it almost looks black with slight hints of pink. I think that works very well, very easy to wear. I do think, if I'm still being objective, shoes like the Jordan 1, that really is the most versatile Jordan brand silhouette in my opinion. But the Jordan 11s, not far behind. This is actually the first Jordan 11 that I've ever reviewed on my channel, and I was pretty excited. In a vacuum, I do think I prefer the Jordan 11 Gratitude that's coming out later this year. Some people might find it redundant where two Jordan 11s so similar are coming out so close to each other. I'm probably in the same boat, like I really only need one out of these two shoes, so I probably would just choose to keep the Gratitudes, but for people that want a bit more of a playful and colorful colorway, just slightly more, this might be the one for them. So that's it. Thanks for watching. Soul Inclined. Let me know what you think of the Air Jordan 11 Neapolitan. Like, subscribe, comment, all the good stuff. And remember, tomorrow may never come, so wear your shoes.